Francis Bacon was born on January 22nd, 1561, into a new aristocratic family in London. He was the first Viscount St. Alban, an English Renaissance essayist and philosopher, British materialist philosopher, founder of experimental science, and founder of modern induction. He was also a pioneer in the logical organization of scientific research procedures. In 1573, Bacon, who was only 12 years old, was sent to Trinity College, Cambridge University, for further studies. His studies at university made him doubt traditional concepts and beliefs. I began to think about the true meaning of society and life alone. 3 years later, Bacon lived in Paris, France, as an attaché of the British ambassador to France. In just 2.5 years, he traveled almost all over France, which exposed him to many new things. It absorbed many new ideas and had a great impact on the transformation of its worldview. Later, he served as the Queen's special legal advisor, chief prosecutor of the court and chancellor of the Lord Keeper of the Seal. In his later years, he was expelled from the palace due to a palace conspiracy, quit political life, and devoted himself to academic research and writing. He wrote a number of works that had a significant impact on the history of modern literary thought, the most important of which was the great new tool of Renaissance. In addition, he thought about a wide range of life issues with the eyes of a philosopher, and wrote many short essays with lively style, which are collected into Bacon's Essays. At the end of March 1626, Bacon, due to his weak health, caught a cold during the experiment, and his bronchitis relapsed and his condition worsened. He died of illness in the early morning of April 9, 1626. His wise sayings have had a profound influence on later generations. He advocated the scientific method, emphasized the power of knowledge, and warned people not to be misled by appearances, but to see into the essence. His famous sayings embody wisdom, enlighten our thinking, lead us to pursue truth and beauty, and illuminate the way forward. Friends can give advice from two aspects. One is about character, and the other is about career. Destiny is a bit feminine. The more you woo her, the farther away she will be from you. Hypocrites are despised by wise men, admired by fools, worshipped by flatterers, and are enslaved by their own vanity. Young people are good at creating, but short on thinking, good at hard work, but short on discussion, good at innovation, but short on being prudent. The greatest trust between people is trust in words. Love is like depositing money in a bank. Appreciating the other person's strengths is like supplementing income. Tolerating the other person's shortcomings is like spending restraint. The so-called eternal love is love from beauty to gray hair, love from flower to flower. Friendship is rare in the world, but equal friendship is even harder to find. Generally speaking, young people are rich in intuition, while old people are good at thinking. Talents that are shown off on the outside are suddenly admired, while talents that are hidden deep down can bring luck. Love not only occupies an open mind, but sometimes it can also break into a tightly guarded heart. Repeating words is mostly a loss of time. Reasonable arrangement of time is equivalent to saving time. A wife is a mistress to a young man, a friend to a middle-aged man, and a nurse to an old man. One must create opportunities for oneself as often as one finds it. A young man who is advancing according to the laws of life should first pay attention to balancing his talents and desires with his career. Habit is really a tenacious and huge force that can dominate a person's life. Therefore, people should develop a good habit through education from an early age. As the old saying goes, the old man of opportunity first gives you his hair. And when you regret not grabbing it, you can only touch his bald head. Or it gives you a bottleneck to grab. But if you don't grab it in time, what you get is the bottle body that you can't grab. One unfair referee is more harmful than many unfair actions, because these unfair actions only dirty the water, while unfair referees ruin the source of the water. A false friendship is like your shadow. It follows you closely when you are in the sun, but leaves you as soon as you cross the shadows. People love lies not only because they fear the hardships of discovering the truth, but because they have a natural but decadent fondness for lies themselves. If a person does not waste any time, then although he is very young, he can be regarded as living a long time. Life is like a road. The nearest shortcut is usually the worst way. If this is a superb flatterer, then he will definitely use the best flattery skills to compliment the most complacent things in a person's heart. Parents should be good at hiding all their happiness, worries, and fears in front of their children. If money is the value measure of commodities, then time is the value measure of efficiency. Therefore, a person who is inefficient will pay a high price for it. Although human nature is hidden, it is difficult to suppress, and rarely can it be completely eradicated. Even if you forcefully suppress it, it will only become more violent after the pressure is removed. Only long-term habits can change a person's natural temperament and character to some extent. One of the wonderful effects of friendship is, if you tell your happiness to a friend, you will get two happinesses. And if you tell your sorrow to a friend, you will be relieved of half of your sorrow. Judge at the right time what should be done openly, what should be done in secret, and what should be done ambiguous, and have a deep understanding of the degree and boundaries of all this. Appropriately expose a certain side of the truth in the event, but the purpose is to cover up the more important part of the truth. Only by obeying nature can we control and extend nature. Although the slave of love is not different from the beast, who only cares about eating and drinking, he is also the slave of eyes and color, after all. Love that is sacrificed with material things will quickly disappear when you stop giving. No personal wealth can become the ultimate value of an individual's life. It is a strange desire to lose freedom in the pursuit of power, or to lose the ability to control oneself in the pursuit of power over others. This is how love is. If the other person does not repay you with the same love, then he is secretly despising you. Reading is to turn other people's thoughts into pieces of stone, and then build your own thought palace. Money is an essential part of life's virtues. Although it is indispensable, it is still enough to hinder progress. The best life is a private life. There are many people who are very sophisticated and good at understanding people's temperaments, but they are not truly knowledgeable people. What this kind of person is good at is conspiracy rather than research. Human reason is like an uneven mirror because it receives light irregularly. It mixes the nature of things with its own nature, distorting the nature of things and changing its color. A wife is the lover in youth, the companion in middle age, and the guardian in old age. Habitual deception is actually just a cunning caused by weakness and brainlessness, not a superb strategy. Every clown is proud of his hat. One person's folly is another person's bliss. The beauty of form is better than the beauty of color, and the beauty of elegant behavior is better than the beauty of form. Bacon said, "Reading history makes people wise. Reading poetry makes people intelligent. Calculation makes people precise. Philosophy makes people profound. Morality makes people noble. And logic and rhetoric make people eloquent. All happiness is not without trouble, and all adversity is not without hope. Hope is a good breakfast, but a terrible dinner." Discuss things with ruthless eyes and look at people with compassionate eyes. Society is like a ship. Everyone has to steer it. People like to take extreme prejudices and satisfy themselves in unbounded freedom. This is the nature of their thoughts. Hypocrisy and cover-up deprive a person of his primary tool, trust. Courage always works best the first time it is put into action, and then it will lose its effectiveness quickly, because the word courage is the easiest to end. No matter what the fate is, if you can endure it, you will win. Wealth should be sought by legitimate means, used prudently, used generously to help the world, and parted with without any regrets when you die. Of course, there is no need to show contempt for wealth. When eating, sleeping, and exercising, having a calm mind and a happy spirit is one of the best secrets to longevity. I live to learn, but learning is not to live. If a person is obsessed with revenge, he will keep his wounds as fresh as new. If the person does not keep thinking about revenge, the wounds will be healed. The rope always breaks on the lightest tug. A beautiful face is a silent letter of introduction. The person with the freest soul is the one who breaks free from the chains in one fell swoop. Those who interrupt randomly are even more annoying than those who speak at length. People who have no close friends to talk to are cannibals who eat themselves and their hearts. If the person you love does not love you back, then he must secretly despise you. Etiquette is a subtle thing. It is indispensable for human communication and cannot be overestimated. If you value etiquette above all else, you will lose the sincere trust between people. Therefore, we must be good at finding a sense of proportion in language communication so that it is straightforward but not rude. This is the hardest and the best. Of all sophistry, ambiguity and equivocation are the most brilliant. Cunning cleverness is not real wisdom. Although they can enter the hall, they cannot enter the house. Although they can use tricks, they have no great wisdom. Relying on these little tricks to succeed in the world will not work in the end. The golden age is in front of us, not behind us. There is no greater wisdom than taking advantage of opportunity at the beginning. The more one sips the spirit of sophistication, the more one becomes addicted to sophistication. There are no people in the world who do evil for the sake of evil. Some of them do it in an attempt to obtain benefits, happiness, and reputation from evil. If a child does have some kind of extraordinary talent, then of course he should be fostered and developed. But in general, the following maxim is useful. Long-term training will make things easier through adaptation. Must humans become economic animals, preoccupied only with expanding stomachs and expanding bank accounts? Once a judge deviates from the letter of the law, he becomes a legislator. In language communication, we must be good at finding a sense of proportion, making it straightforward but not rude. This is the hardest and the best. Knowledge is power.